All right, I'm gonna tell you guys about what I my experience with wait, let me turn this on. Watching Star Trek. Um, my experience with laser hair removal. So I went to this place in Ludlow, sorry, which is about a half-hour drive from me, maybe 25 minutes, and referred by a couple of women, and every reason to believe it was trans friendly, and that the person who I was going to, or the place that I was going to, was a place where they knew that like a trans person was coming. It wasn't just like some place and they're like, I come in and they're like, oh, yeah, about that. No, it wasn't like that, and it was actually, this is just like one individual person in a building. So it wasn't like a facility with like you come in and there's a reception desk and you wait in the waiting room. It wasn't like that at all. So she had said in advance a bunch of stuff like, don't wear makeup. And so I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go to this place and not be wearing makeup, which is, I mean, just lately I usually like to be wearing makeup if I'm gonna, this is pre-pandemic, so didn't have masks, which has been like awesome in some ways, because I just like I can go out and not worry about what my face looks like. And so I went and it was fine. She was like super friendly. And so to wear this like thing over your face, like a mask to block out the laser beams, because it'll like melt your eyes or something. It'd be bad, but it's fine, don't worry. I'm like, okay. And like it's gonna be cold, and like this cold gel goes on my skin. I was like, ooh, it's like kind of nice. And then it was just like the weirdest thing, and I couldn't see it because my my eyes are covered by the mask, right? And it feels like this round silver like disc ball thing that's being pressed against my face. And she's like just sliding down like a lawnmower like this, and it's like and it's like all these little feeling things, and then like every once in a while it's like and I'm like, okay, that's weird, and it wasn't so bad. I was like, okay, I can do this, this is fine. And then she gets to like the chin, and it was like, fuck, that hurt. And I'm like, okay, that's enough, it's like, oh my god. Okay, but then it was like over, except she'd do like this part. And like every time it's like she's like putting it on there, and it's like really hard to squeeze. I'm like, how's she gonna do that? Is she gonna use like a different piece? Nope, she's putting that thing right. She's like, and I'm like, oh my, okay, but it's like over in a minute. So, and they're like, okay, see you next time. I'm like, really? That's it? And she's like, you might want this. And it's like an ice pack, like one of those breakable things. It's like not really that cold. And I'm like, oh, my feet, like, for the first 2 days, I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, my skin's fucked. Why did I do this shit? I'm looking at it. It looks worse than before. It's like all welty. And also like, she's like, yeah, you can shave after a couple of days. And after a couple of days I'm shaving, and like, it looks way worse. And I'm like, what the fuck? But it turned out okay. She said that it was like, just like treat it like you got a really bad sunburn. So I'm putting like aloe that I had in my closet from like 5 years ago, even though we had these actual aloe plants in the house. This is like some green plastic bottle with goo in it. And for some reason I'm using that instead of like squeezing out the aloe plants, because I'm just like freaking out. But okay, I'm babbling, obviously. After about a week, it looked a lot better than before. Apparently it has to go through this process where it like jettisons the dead parts or some shit. I don't know. So for the first 2 or 3 days, it doesn't look good, and it's hard to shave it or even cover it up with makeup. But then after that, it was significantly better. It was like, oh, wow, there's just like whole areas where there's just like no hair now. So there was like the first one, it was like a huge difference after a couple of weeks. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I was like, okay, yeah, I want it all, but subsequently each time it's like, yeah, it gets better, and it's less welty because there's less stuff. Oh, the smell. Oh my God, the smell. Okay. So that's the other thing, that's like when, there's the pain, and there's the, just like, I'm blindfolded and like weird, feeling weird about my body, like as this person's like doing this thing. and it smells like, burning something. I don't know, like burning skin, burning hair, what it is, but it's a smell. And I like it. Like we joked about it, it's like, okay, I could see why like some people would be freaked out by that, but I kind of like it. I'm just like, yes, burn motherfuckers. I've always hated my fucking facial hair, no matter what gender it was. I hated it. Definitely did not want to have it. And so, whatever your reasons are for going, this is what it is. Like if you've decided you want like to just be done with having facial hair, period. But okay, so there's the other thing. It's, as was talked about, as you pray. Okay, hang on, sorry. That's so good. As was mentioned in the thread, which is prompting this video, it doesn't get lighter hair, like blonde, gray, white, even red. That's been, I guess, a fact, an established fact. And more recently, there's new kinds of lasers that have that. And this one doesn't, this place that I go to. But I've heard people be like, oh, you can get that, blah, 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 blah. And maybe you can, I'm sure you can, you probably can. Why would anybody make that up? So go look for that if you care. I'm over 45, I'm 47, I'm gonna be 48 next month. And so I have gray hairs. And so really what's there now is after a couple of days, you start to see like fuzz, peach fuzz of soft white, like kind of nice hairs. And they're not all that different from my partner, a cis woman who, like she said, I have more hair on my face than you do now. So I almost just assume leave it. But I mean, I'd gone through this much work to just have smooth skin that I think I'd like to do that, but I'm in no rush. So I'm probably going to do electrolysis to have, okay, yeah, so electrolysis, sorry, I should have said that at the top. Like for people who don't know, basically laser does like whole big areas very quickly, and electrolysis does like very specific detailed areas very slowly, one hair at a time. So the electrolysis is like getting parts that you couldn't get to with the laser. And I guess that means for your whole body too, but I don't know, I've only done my arms and my face. So I'm assuming that when I move to electrolysis, she's just gonna be like zapping random shit around my face, like hopefully starting here, because that's where it mostly is. But for now, it's like after 4, I still have some like dark hairs here. You can't see them now. Like you couldn't even see them if, wait, hang on a second. Let me turn the brightness up here and turn off the filters just so you can see. I mean, I'm wearing foundation, but let's at least turn off the like zoom filters and shit so you can actually see me. Okay, so yeah, it's a fucking blur of white even without all the filters. But that's just like a little bit of foundation and shaving. So pretty much almost there, I think. And, for a 48-year-old person, I'm pretty satisfied with that. I don't know if it would be, if it affects people differently at different ages, other than the white hair thing. I don't know if the age matters. I don't know why I'm wearing my glass. I didn't, you saw how I started this. I didn't think this was actually going to be the video. Like I usually do a few takes or something. I was going to watch the old ones I did, but that's it, I guess. I'm wondering if insurance covers it. Like she doesn't seem, I never even brought it up. I just assumed it didn't, but I've been learning that my insurance covers like all kinds of shit, FFS and everything. Like, so I'm like, huh, because I think I've been doing certain things just out of pocket. But well, anyway, that's another video, I suppose. You should at least be able to use it for flex benefits if you're trans, I think. I don't know. And I probably want to sponsor somebody in the next year, I guess. And that was because when she told me that it was $150, that it was half price for trans people. I was like, oh, well, actually, I'm non, you know what? Yeah, okay, cool, thanks. I'll take that. You know, I think to say I'm non-binary is kind of splitting hairs in that context, but well, we'll talk about that in another video too. Okay. So if you know places and want to share information or correct or amend to something, I'm kind of like clearly not completely with it right now. Put it in the comments. I don't know, like all 4 of you who are watching this. Okay, see ya.